Okay, can we all agree on something for a second? English sometimes feels like that one friend who explains something in the most unnecessarily complicated way possible. Because why do we have 4 different verbs for communication? Like, seriously, say, tell, speak, talk. And somehow every single one has different grammar rules, different feelings, different situations, different sentence patterns. And if you use the wrong one, native speakers suddenly look at you like your sentence just tripped and fell down the stairs.
Yes. And the worst part is, English learners usually understand the idea perfectly. Because in your head, you're thinking, I am communicating with my mouth. Mission accomplished. But English is standing there dramatically like, no, emotionally and grammatically, this is incorrect.
Exactly. And honestly, I think every English learner has had at least one painful moment where they said something like, say me the answer, and immediately realized from people's faces that something terrible had happened.
That awkward silence afterward. That horrible moment when your brain starts replaying the sentence in slow motion like a dramatic movie scene.
Yes, your soul leaves your body for a second. But don't worry, because today we're fixing all of this naturally. Not with boring grammar charts, not with robotic textbook examples, but with real conversations, emotional situations, funny stories, natural speaking, and casual English that people actually use in daily life.
And by the end of this episode, you'll not only understand these verbs, you'll actually feel the difference between them naturally, the same way native speakers do.
So, wherever you are right now, maybe cooking, maybe walking, maybe pretending to work while secretly listening to English podcasts.
Extremely common behavior, by the way.
Get comfortable, relax your brain, and let's jump into this beautifully confusing English topic together. You know what makes this topic difficult? It's actually not the vocabulary itself. The real problem is that these words overlap emotionally, but their grammar behavior changes depending on the situation, and that's what confuses people. Because sometimes speak and talk feel almost identical. Sometimes say and tell feel similar. And then suddenly English changes the rules halfway through the sentence just to keep everybody stressed.
Honestly, English grammar sometimes feels like those escape rooms where every clue looks similar, but only one key actually opens the door.
Yes, that's exactly the feeling. But here's the good news. There is a very simple emotional difference behind these verbs once you stop trying to memorize rules mechanically, because each word focuses on a different part of communication. Say focuses mostly on the words themselves, the actual sentence, the thing that came out of somebody's mouth. Example, she said hello. The focus is what she said.
But tell focuses more on information going to another person. Example, she told me the truth. Now the important thing is who received the information.
So basically, say looks at the message. Tell looks at the listener.
Exactly. Now, speak sounds more formal, more professional, more serious. You hear it a lot in offices, presentations, formal conversations, language discussions. Example, he speaks English fluently.
But talk feels warmer, more relaxed, more casual, more human somehow. Example, we talked for hours. That sentence feels friendly immediately.
Yeah, talk feels like coffee shop energy, while speak feels like office meeting energy.
Oh, that's such a good comparison. All right, now let's enter the battlefield. The legendary confusion. Say versus tell. Honestly, this is probably one of the most common English mistakes in the entire world. Because learners naturally want to say me. But native speakers never say that. Ever. Not even accidentally.
Yeah, if somebody says, "Say me your name," native speakers immediately know the person is translating directly from another language.
Exactly. And honestly, it's understandable because logically it feels correct. But English has a very specific structure here.
So here's the easiest shortcut in the universe. Say plus something, tell plus someone. That's it. That one tiny rule fixes like 80% of the confusion.
Listen carefully. She said goodbye. Correct. She told me goodbye. Also correct. But she said me goodbye? Absolutely not. Grammar emergency.
The English department would like to report suspicious sentence activity.
Exactly.
Imagine your best friend suddenly texts you, "We need to talk." Immediately, your heartbeat changes.
Your brain starts opening panic tabs. You replay every interaction from the last 3 months.
Yes, nobody reads "We need to talk" and feels peace.
Exactly. Now, imagine your friend says, "I need to tell you something." That also sounds emotionally serious because tell often introduces important information. Secrets, confessions, bad news, emotional conversations.
Ooh, yes. Tell carries emotional weight sometimes.
Reminds me of something funny that happened during my first office job. One day, my manager walked over to my desk with this extremely serious face and quietly said, "Mia, can I speak with you for a moment?" Alex, my soul left my body. Because speak with you for a moment never sounds casual. Never. Never. Immediately, my brain started creating dramatic theories. Am I fired? Did I break something? Was that email offensive? Do they know I accidentally took 2 extra cookies from the pantry yesterday? The overthinking spiral begins instantly. Exactly. But then I sat down, and he just asked me to help organize a meeting room. That was it. Meanwhile, I had already emotionally prepared for unemployment.
That's the power of formal English. Speak sounds serious. Talk sounds friendlier. If your manager says, "Hey, can we talk for a minute?" that feels softer, less terrifying, more human.
All right, now let's deeply understand speak and talk, because these two confuse people all the time. Technically, both involve conversation, but emotionally, they feel very different.
Speak sounds more polished, more professional, more official. Examples: speak English, speak clearly, speak to the audience, speak with the manager. It creates a little emotional distance.
But talk feels casual and relaxed. Examples: talk with friends, talk all night, talk about movies, talk about life. That word feels warmer immediately.
Honestly, talk feels like sitting on a sofa with coffee at 2 a.m. discussing life problems.
Why is that so accurate?
Because language has emotional atmosphere. That's why native speakers choose different words naturally.
Another extremely important thing, we usually use speak with languages. Like speak English, speak Spanish, speak Korean. Native speakers almost never say, "I talk English." That sounds strange immediately.
Yeah, your brain notices something is wrong instantly, even though the meaning is understandable.
This reminds me of a vacation disaster. A few years ago, I traveled abroad and tried communicating with a taxi driver using broken phrases, dramatic hand movements, nervous smiling, basically survival mode communication. And finally, I asked, "Do you speak English?" And Alex, the relief I felt when he smiled and said, "A little." Oh my God! That tiny sentence sounded more beautiful than music.
Because suddenly your survival chances increase dramatically.
Exactly. Before that moment, I was emotionally preparing to live permanently inside the airport.
Mia? Okay, here's another subtle difference that advanced learners notice. Talk about and speak about are correct, but they feel different. Talk about sounds casual and conversational. We talked about movies for hours. Very natural.
Very relaxed.
But speak about sounds formal. The professor spoke about climate change. That sounds academic, professional, serious.
Yeah. Nobody sits casually eating pizza saying, "Tonight, let us speak about Marvel movies."
Exactly. That sounds like a university lecture about Spider-Man psychology. All right, everybody. Time to test your instincts naturally.
Don't panic. This is the fun part.
Which one is correct? Say me the answer or tell me the answer?
Correct answer? Tell me the answer, because tell needs a listener.
Which sounds more formal? Talk to the manager or speak to the manager?
Correct answer is speak to the manager.
Which one sounds more natural? We talked all night or we spoke all night?
Talked feels warmer and more conversational.
All right, everybody. Repeat after us naturally. Focus on rhythm, emotion, and pronunciation.
She said hello. She told me the truth. We talked for hours.
He speaks English fluently. Tell me what happened. Can I speak with you?
They talked about life. She said she was tired.
Honestly, once you stop trying to memorize these verbs like a robot, they become so much easier. Because native speakers don't think about grammar formulas every second. They feel emotional differences naturally.
Exactly. Talk feels casual. Speak feels formal. Say focuses on words. Tell focuses on giving information to someone.
And the more real conversations you hear, the more natural these differences become automatically. So don't stress if this topic felt confusing before. That confusion is completely normal.
Every fluent English speaker was confused at some point too. Even native speakers sometimes stop mid-sentence and think, wait, why does English work like this?
Honestly true. And if this episode helped you understand these verbs more naturally, don't forget to subscribe for more real English podcast conversations. Keep practicing every day, even if it's only a little, because small daily practice creates huge improvement over time. We'll see you in the next episode. Take care, everybody. Keep learning, keep listening, and keep speaking English confidently. Bye, everyone. Bye.